Hey guys, what's up and welcome to today's show. Today we're going to preview the big game between Manchester City and Arsenal tomorrow at the Emirates, and we're also going to look at some transfer activity, what's happened and rumoured to be happened, because it sort of links to Arsenal. So, as you know, in a transfer window, when a club does business, it sort of sets off a domino effect where it makes other clubs do business because they need to replace the player that they've got rid of and so on and so forth. So, Aston Villa, the last couple of days they've been very busy. They've got rid of Duran to Saudi, the young lad going for, quite a substantial amount of money. Aston Villa have made quite a substantial amount of money, a substantial amount of profit on a very young, talented player. Clever business. Listen, we've seen brilliance of Duran in glimpses, but he's still unproven at the top level on a consistent basis. So, Villa have they've lost Duran, and they've also lost Bundia. He's gone to the Bundesliga on loan. So, they've needed to replace those players. Arsenal have also come in and made a bid for Ollie Watkins. Like I mentioned before on a previous video, that I think that bid is a complete smokescreen. I don't think Arsenal and Arteta want a manager. I think Arteta wants to show that he's got the players. He believes that he's got the players that can challenge for the Premier League and Champions League. And he doesn't want to bring in anyone that will jeopardise him putting Kai Havertz on the pitch. Because we've seen, since Kai Havertz has been at Arsenal, he will do anything he can to get Kai Havertz on the pitch. Even if he's playing out of position, like he played him so long in midfield and that didn't work. So he will do anything he can. So bringing in a player that will put Havertz on the bench, who's clearly better than Havertz as number 9, like an Osimhen, for example, or a Gyökeres, he won't do that. Because like he said, he loves Havertz. Arteta has said that he loves Havertz. And for some whatever reason, he's got this delusional vision that Havertz is the one that can fire Arsenal to titles. That's yet to be seen. So, I think it's a smokescreen. I think it's just something to say, look, we tried to sign the striker, but Ollie Watkins didn't want to come. It's convenient that Arsenal tried to bid for Watkins when they knew Duran was almost out the door at Villa. Now, Villa ain't going to get rid of both of them. They're not going to get rid of both of them. So, if you guys have actually fooled by this nonsense, please open your eyes. Arsenal is a complete smokescreen. And what annoys me, the media that are covering it, Sky Sports News, Talk Sport, the pundits, ESPN, they said, Arsenal wouldn't put in a bid if they weren't serious about the bid. This is the same team that bid £40 million and £1 for Luis Suarez. Do you remember that? They bid £40 million and £1 for Luis Suarez. This is the same team that's done all sorts of nonsense in the transfer window. All sorts of nonsense. Now, best case scenario, Arsenal will go in for someone else today or tomorrow or Monday. I think the transfer window closes on Monday. Probably cheaper than Ollie Watkins, like they did sort of with Mudryk. They sort of was messing about with Mudryk, then Chelsea came and got him, and then they got Trossard, which was good business in the end. But do not be fooled. Arsenal do not want Ollie Watkins. And if Ollie Watkins was to come to Arsenal, he'd be nothing but a bench player anyway. So why does he want to leave? He's got a good thing at Villa. I think in this situation between Ollie Watkins, Arsenal, Villa are the ones that can benefit. Because if they get £60 million for Ollie Watkins at his age, he's 29 years old, then that's fantastic business from them. But do not be fooled. Arsenal don't want Watkins. They do not want Watkins. This is just to trick you lot, to try and trick the fan base, because these Sky Sports, ESPN, TalkSport, the pundits, they're buying this crap. They're buying this nonsense. But Arsenal are the same team that bid £40 million and £1 for Luis Suarez. If you don't remember, or if you don't believe me, go look it up. Arsenal have done all sorts of nonsense in transfer windows before. So this ain't new. They've done all sorts of smoke screens, so this ain't new. Best case scenario, Arsenal will go and get someone either today, Sunday or Monday before the transfer window closes, and it'll probably be cheaper than Ollie Watkins. Maybe it'll be a loan. We'll see if they do get a player in those forward options, but they need a player. Also, quickly touching on Villa, they're very close to signing Marcus Rashford on loan with an option to buy. Now, if there's any coach in the world that can get the best out of Rashford, it's Unai Emery. Rashford's tried to leave, he's tried to go to Barcelona. Those moves haven't materialised. So, this looks like a good move for both parties. Maybe Manchester United fans are not so happy. Maybe they want to see him gone. But for Rashford and for Villa have replaced Duran and Bundia. They've still got that, competition for places between Ollie Watkins and Rashford if this deal gets done. And again, some pundits have said, well, if Rashford comes, does that mean that Ollie Watkins is going to go Arsenal? Or are Arsenal going to make another attempt to sign Ollie Watkins? They probably will make another attempt to sign Ollie Watkins, knowing that Villa are going to say no again, because they're not going to want to lose their main number 9. And just as a smokescreen, as a decoy to appease the fans, to say, oh, look, we tried, but Villa don't want to sell. Don't fall for this nonsense. And as for Ollie Watkins, what is he thinking? You're not going to come to Arsenal being a starter. There's no way that Arteta is going to drop Havertz for Watkins. Would I prefer to see Watkins ahead of Havertz? Yes, because he's a natural striker. He's a natural striker. So I prefer to see a natural striker ahead of a player who is a striker. So yes, because I think Watkins would put away those chances that Havertz misses. But Arteta loves Havertz. He wants him to be the main striker for this team, Arsenal. He will not jeopardise Havertz getting on the bench. So even if Watkins was to come, he'd be on the bench. So it's going to be interesting to see how this develops. I'm going to watch how it develops. But best case scenario from an Arsenal fan is that Arsenal might go in for a loan or try and get a cheaper player before the transfer window closes. But it ain't going to be Ollie Watkins. This is nothing but a decoy. So let's move on to the game tomorrow. Arsenal versus Manchester City at the Emirates. Big Super Sunday clash. And this is a must-win game. This is a title challenging game, more specifically for Arsenal. Now, Manchester City have regained their poise. They're fighting for those top 4 positions. They have regained their poise. They qualified for the playoffs of the Champions League, coming back from 1-0 down to beat Brugge in the Champions League. So they're into the playoffs. They haven't got a favourable draw though. They've got Real Madrid in the playoffs, but they're winning games again. They're winning games again. And they're showing hunger. So I think this is a difficult game for both teams. A difficult game for both teams. As for Arsenal, more specifically Arsenal need to be at it. There can't be no Thomas Partey on the right. So I'm hoping we go strong. I'm thinking, Lewis Skelly on the left or Calafiori. The centre-back partnership of Gabriel and Saliba. Timber on the right, Raya in goal. Partey, Odegaard and Rice in midfield. And up front, it's going to have to be Havertz, Martinelli and Trossard. That's how I would go. I would go strong. Maybe Ranieri, but I would go for that 11 there. I'll go for that 11 there. As for Manchester City, I don't know quite their situation with players and injuries, but Mamouche has come in. One of their new signings and made an immediate impact. Haaland's firing again. Foden looks to be firing again. De Bruyne looks like he's, going back to the old De Bruyne. So this is going to be a difficult game. Now, obviously, I want Arsenal to win. But like I've said before, Manchester City are the only team that are capable of going on a run. Will it be enough for them to win the Premier League? Probably not. But will it be enough for them to get in the top 4? Probably. So, I've given you my predicted 11, more specifically Arsenal's predicted 11, the lineup that I think they're going to go with. As for the scores, whew, it depends how Arsenal approach it. Are Arsenal going to go for it? Don't think so. I think Arsenal are going to be defensive. Counter-attack. That might be the best way. You know, Manchester City still do look defensively vulnerable. Whether or not Arsenal's attack can exploit their defensive vulnerabilities, that's yet to be seen. But as for Manchester City, they're firing again. Haaland looks to be hungry. He looks to be, confident again. So as much as I want Arsenal to win, I'm predicting that Manchester City are going to beat Arsenal. And I think the score is going to be 3-1 to Manchester City. That's the score that came to my head. So that's the score that I'm going to go with. I want Arsenal to win, but I think Manchester City are starting to get a bit of momentum. They're starting to be in a bit of a roll. And I think that they're going to win 3-1 at the Emirates. They're still defensively vulnerable, but I don't have much faith in that attacking line of Arsenal to be the line, to be the attack, to be able to exploit it, to have enough pace to exploit it. And Guile, I don't know if the Arsenal attacking line can do it. But when I look at Manchester City's attack, it looks revitalised. Mamouche has come in and it looks like he gives them pace and quality in that attacking third. And Haaland looks confident again. It's going to be a battle again between Gabriel and Haaland because them two always go at each other's throats. So that's going to be a very interesting battle. I'm looking forward to it. Again, I want Arsenal to win, but if I'm going to give you a prediction for this game, I'm predicting 3-1 to Manchester City. So let's see how that game goes. So I'll be back for the post-game analysis of the big game tomorrow. Arsenal vs Manchester City in the Super Sunday. All that good stuff. Like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. And I'll see you very soon. Peace, guys.